Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your favorite book club podcast, That Pretentious Book Club.
Yeah, welcome back, friends and
Lovers,
enemies. Yeah, lovers,
acquaintances,
acquaintances.
frenemies from childhood, all welcome
True.
here.
And if Keanu Reeves, if you're listening, welcome Keanu Reeves. We're
Keanu,
so glad to have
every
you.
episode has actually been for you. This podcast is dedicated to you, courtesy of Dr. Spoons Palermo, aka Kendall Shaw,
so
over there.
true. I live a Keanu life.
I'm just going to count that as your intro. That's Dr. Spoons Palermo, aka Kendall Shaw, aka the ultimate Keanu stan. If you guys are new here, then you should know that right up front. If you guys are not new here, you're like, okay, we know.
They're like, yeah, she won't shut up. Hello, hi, howdy. And over there, drinking from a very cute mug.
I know it's got a little French bulldog and a pumpkin.
Yeah, that is Ash O'Rourke, but you can call her Wheezy.
It ain't easy to be Wheezy. And you guys, especially today, because today Wheezy has a headache, and I just told Spoons I'm gonna do my best, but I turned on the little ring light for the recording, which if you guys want to see our video recordings, you can on Patreon at Story Siren Studio. Little plug there. But if you want to see me squint through the whole episode, because I put on my blue light glasses and the second I turned on my ring light, it was like stabbing pain in my head because I have a growing headache. And so now we're both glasses girls. Now
we're both blue light glasses girlies. Cute. I'll probably take mine off. Anyway, sorry.
There's a lot of you guys can see the rest of my bathroom and the reflection of my glasses if you're watching the video.
A little Easter egg.
Yeah, so and it is clean actually this time. Maybe you can see the Flora themed soap dispenser that my mom got us. But anyways, long story short, I just made a very fast cup of coffee, so I'm late. I made Spoons wait, and then
as if I've never done that before.
Every time. You're always on the dot. Actually, Carissa is frighteningly on the dot every single day over at our sister podcast, the Scripturient Society, my co-host there. And it like terrifies me a little bit because I'm like, oh my God, she must think I am the worst, because I'll be like, can I have like 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes almost every week? I'm like, so I'm late. And she's always there on the dot. And I'm like, girl,
oh man,
so amazing. She's just so together.
She is, but she doesn't have a garden to water. So, you know.
I had a garden to water, both in Disney Dreamlight Valley and in real life. And the reason I will confess that Spoons called and she's like, hey, can we push recording half an hour? And I was like, absolutely, we can. Because what I should have said was that gives me time to go water my actual garden and get everything set up for recording in time. Instead, what I did was play around with my Disney Dreamlight Valley garden and then put off watering my actual garden until I was late coming inside to set up my equipment, and then had a headache, and now here we are. And
I mean, you have your priorities straight. I think you've got to keep that Disney Dreamlight garden watered. You gotta.
It's very important to me. Yeah. And I didn't think it was gonna be.
You're like, this is a new development.
This is it. I can't express to you how surprised I am by how I'm addicted to this game. Marissa suggested it, and I thought, well, it could be fun to play a game that a friend is playing for once, because usually I hate the games people are playing. And I was like, this doesn't sound like miserable. But I'm not like super into Disney. So I was like, we'll see. If you guys don't know this, I'm just giving you guys my week right now, because my week has been Disney Dreamlight Valley. That's it. Like, and when I'm not working, well, I did send some query letters and I got a couple of rejections.
Yeah, you finished editing your novel. I would say that's another thing that happened this week.
And I wrote my query letter and my synopses, and it was painful. And I've sent like 20 queries. So I guess I did that. And then now I'm like a Disney Dreamlight Valley girl, because I got that out of the way so I can get back to what's really important in life, which is Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Of course.
It's very fun.
All that other stuff is a distraction.
And I'm literally like cussing out Goofy while I'm playing, because I'm like, get out of my face, Goofy, because I don't like Goofy and I don't like a lot of the Disney stuff. So I'm like, get away from me. I'm just trying to finish this quest. God.
That is so funny.
I know. It's funny to watch me play video games because I get really profane, like really fast. And Goofy's character, whenever he walks up, because he's all like, he walks all goofy because he's Goofy. He always like gets up in my face and in my way. And I'm like, if you bump into me one more time, Goofy, I swear to God.
Goofy, I'll end it. I'll end you now.
I'm going to make you forget a lot more than just what you've already forgotten. The whole theme of the game is that they've forgotten who they are.
So
yeah, so it's pretty fun. But that and my headache, so if I slowly go blind, if at the end of this episode you're making faces and I'm not reacting, it's because I've gone blind from my headache.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
yeah.
have a moment where all I saw was white light for a second, and I was like, oh my
Mm.
God.
Good, solid, good information
Yeah.
to have.
Yeah. So, anyways, how has your week been? Not as good as mine because of
uh,
Disney Dreamlight Valley,
no,
but
yours has definitely been better. It's been all right. I do have candy with me in honor of today's book because
oh, that's smart.
I was like, you know what? I really want some candy. And what else? Well, I did a huge milestone in my project, my kind of thesis-y project,
Ooh.
finished today. And wow, the way I said that sounded like Goob from uh Meet the Robinsons. His
How?
project. I was always obsessed with the way he said his stupid science fair project. Anyway, that's for Meet the Robinsons
Oh my
stands.
God, that is hysterical. I've not thought about that movie in forever.
God,
Definitely not
it
like the
was
specific way that Goob says that.
Meet the Robinsons was truly like my sexual awakening in many ways because I was so in love with Wilbur Robinson, like completely in love with him. But it was like
Oh,
kind of
I thought you were
before.
gonna say like the mom person because I just remember being like this. This is everything.
No,
She's
no, no.
everything to me.
That is so valid. He is like extremely hot. Like I
She's so
totally,
cool.
yeah, she's really cool. The way she like taught those frogs how to sing. Damn.
Yes.
You know, what a woman.
Damn. Exactly. What a
But
woman. I also like with the girl with the ant thing. What is her line? She's got the ant farm. All I remember is thinking that was hysterical. She's
that
got
is
some
such,
line.
yes. Oh my God, what
Yeah.
was that? Yeah, but I can totally see young Ash freaking out about that. That's
No,
really funny.
I quoted it like daily for years. I can't believe I don't remember it anymore. Oh
Anyway,
God.
good film. But Haley's still gone. She's still in Peru. Guys,
How
if you're
you
keeping
doing with
up,
that?
2 weeks ago on the pod, Haley left while I was recording and she's still
Mhm.
gone. So
Mhm.
of course everything has fallen into disarray. Um
Is Juicy
and
still behaving though?
she's being good. She's good. I'm proud of her. Um
Aw.
yeah, I mean, I have to like do some intense cleaning on Saturday when she gets back.
Oh my
So she
God.
won't be like, what have you done?
You're
But
like
yeah.
taking care of our child, like our
Yeah.
children. What do
The
you think
cats
I've
are
been doing?
alive, so
I did my part.
yeah.
Ooh, that's funny.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it.
Nice. That's cool. We cleaned everything in my house today because, again, I talked about this in the Scripturient Society some, and it's why I don't think I'm probably going to do NaNoWriMo because NaNoWriMo and anytime you have to get writing done means sacrifice. And so I decided to
Mhm.
finish editing my rewrite of the book and get the synopsis and everything written. I just decided I was going to sacrifice cleaning for like well over a week in a household of many people and animals tromping in and out. So today, because Javi's parents are coming to see us for like the first time ever tomorrow, I was like, oh my God, they're going to see our house and our property for the first time. And it's disgusting because I prioritized my getting my writing done so I could start sending queries out for my novel. And yeah, so anyways, the boys were really helpful today though, so I'm really grateful because
Good.
they got so much stuff done that I just got like I cleaned the kitchen, besides Hobby did the dishes and I like dried them and put them away. And I just had to do the counters. And then Caleb's cooking right now. So I'm really hoping that he does the dishes. Caleb, hear me in retrospect if you listen to this. I would love it if you do the dishes because I'm stressed the kitchen's going to be messy after all that work. And I swept and I mopped and I vacuumed and I dusted and I even dusted the top of the ceiling fans. So like,
Whoa.
but I cleaned the bathroom. But the thing is, I would have had like twice as much to do and I picked up trash outside. But the boys did everything else. So that was nice. So that's why I got to play Disney Dreamlight Valley is because they did the chores I would have been doing until recording.
That's good. I mean, it should be a group effort, I think.
I think so. It's nice. Yeah. And then my mom's going to come home and put up the chickens because then I went out there and they weren't ready to go to bed yet. And I always know when they are because the little ones always go to bed first and the big ones will just follow me in there whenever I go out there to put them away. But the little ones put themselves to bed early. It's very cute.
That's adorable.
I know. And they officially all have names, the little ones. We waited to see if they would last, frankly. And some of them are really weird looking because they're colored egg layers. And so some of them have like these wonky feathers on their head and they look hysterical. So their names are Agatha, Beatrice, Midnight, and Marilyn. Those are the babies' names.
Good.
Yeah, it's good.
I love them. Oh, tell them I love
know.
them.
I'll tell them.
Okay.
They'll run from me probably. They
They'll
used
be
to
like,
be friendly.
I'm going to bed.
Like, please don't talk to me. Yeah, they used to be so friendly. I don't know if they've just been through so much trauma that they're not anymore, but they're not. So
possibly. I mean, a lot of their compatriots have gotten murdered. So
yeah, pretty aggressively murdered, which is rough. Yeah. Anyways, should we get into
well, I have one more
book,
thing.
or-
This
Oh,
isn't
good.
this isn't good for audio medium. So I don't know why I'm talking about it on the pod, but look what I got in the mail today. I ordered it a long time ago.
Oh my God. The Mummy 1999 is perfect.
Indeed. It's a
Is that
bag. And then
it's a bag. Oh my God.
it's a bag. Yeah, it's from Super Yaki. They're my new favorite online
I need
retailer.
that.
And then
I need that so badly.
I'm so excited about it.
I want it on a t-shirt.
They have it on a t-shirt.
Can you send me the link, please?
Of course I will.
Thank you. Do I need to spend the money? No. Is it completely irresistible? Yeah.
And
Also,
they're
Javi's
a
about to
limited
leave,
time.
So they're limited time. Send me
yeah.
the link.
I will.
I will justify it because Javi is going to leave. And so I will
You need a little
myself.
treat.
Exactly. I need a little treat for myself.
Brenton and Rachel in the mail will comfort you.
Oh my God, for years. Absolutely, they will. I'll always look back on my shirt and be like, oh, God, there is goodness in the world. Really sexy goodness.
Oh, so true. It's got to be one of the sexiest movies around.
It really is. It really is in every possible way. God, now I want to watch The Mummy again.
It is
I
so
also
good.
have been weirdly wanting to watch Disney stuff, which again, I'm not a huge
Really?
Disney person. Like I'll watch like every Disney movie like once and then I don't typically want to go back. But Disney Dreamlight Valley is making me like, I want to watch all the princess movies again.
Can we have princess party? I want to
only if we wear princess themed clothes.
Girl, you know we're doing it. Oh my God. This is so exciting to me.
Oh yay. Oh, we could do that for we could do this for like a pseudo Halloween type thing.
Yes.
Because we had to push Twilight Day so Maddie can join. And then I have no Halloween plans at all. So we don't have to do it on Halloween, but we should do it in like celebration of Halloween.
In celebration of
Princess
Halloween.
Day. Yes.
And did I tell you my Halloween costume?
No.
I'm going to be Snow White. So it's perfect.
Oh my God, it's perfect. Oh my God.
Know.
Okay, I got to figure out what I can be. I weirdly have a Snow White cape that I made for my sister. But it's probably pretty small. I got to see what I have that I can just throw together. Or I'll just be wearing princess themed.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's also fine.
I might not have my full costume ready. So we can just be princessy and watch the princess movie.
Oh my God. Hell yes. I'm so excited.
Yay!
Okay, what a great Halloween plan. You guys, if you want a Halloween plan, you know what? You guys should virtually join us. You guys do this yourselves with your friend group. We can all have a princess party at the same time in our own respective households.
That would be so fun.
I know. Well, is that it? Or
that's it.
Okay.
Let's do the book.
No, but I'm glad we diverged because now I have Halloween plans. I turned to my brother yesterday and I was like, so this is the first Halloween ever where I won't be dressing up at all. Because the last 2 years I just dressed up and stayed in my house and it was just too sad to just sit at home in a costume. So I decided this was going to be the first year I didn't dress up. And now I'm gonna anyways, even if it's not on Halloween. I don't care.
Princess.
We should have never stopped wearing princess dresses. I'm just saying.
No. Oh my God. It's such a fun thing to do.
I agree. Well, this episode we are doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yay!
By Roald Dahl, who I actually don't like very much. Not personally, I just think he's weird. You know what? When books reach a certain level of whimsy, I'm like, you're not on my happy list anymore.
Okay, yeah. This is fascinating to me.
Alice in Wonderland, way too whimsical. I think sometimes Disney's a little too whimsical.
Did we actually record our Alice in Wonderland? Because we read it. Did we actually?
I believe we did. I think we did.
Okay,
now it was really hard.
I can't even remember what we said, but yeah.
I don't either. I thought we did it. Maybe we didn't. We did read it though.
We did.
But anyways, I recall that much. This was a book rec from Evie on Instagram. So Evie, thank you for recommending this. And we scheduled it for October because Halloween and candy. So it feels in theme. So that's exciting. True. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about this strange man, Roald Dahl. First of all, do you want to guess what his zodiac sign is?
Oh God. I'm kind of bad at guessing. Scorpio.
Nope.
Okay.
Virgo, which I
Oh,
think Carissa's a Virgo.
oh, listen, I love Virgos. Virgos are my favorite.
They're good. And I mean, I like, okay, so RoaldDahl.com. This is just, I'm just going to read you the opening line on the About Roald Dahl page.
Okay.
Roald Dahl was a spy, ace fighter pilot, chocolate historian, and medical inventor. I feel like that's not, it all can't be true.
Yeah, like, wow, what a resume.
I know. He was born September 13th in 1916 in Wales, which is cool, which makes me sad that I don't like his work. I think a big part of it is, maybe this is also it, I hate all of the illustrations that come with his books. I hate that style of illustration. It just like irks me. And so it's like how the word moist, people used to say how it made them feel, or like nails on a chalkboard. Yeah. That's what this illustration is to me, visual, the style.
It's a little grimy feeling or something.
Yes, it feels grimy, and I just don't like it.
Yeah.
So I'm not a fan. That could largely be it. Let me see. Britannica.com says he is the popular author of ingenious, irreverent children's books. I don't know if I would call him ingenious or irreverent, but if Britannica.com says it's true, I guess it's true.
Wow.
Let's see. So he graduated from Repton, a renowned British public school, in 1932. He did not go to university and instead joined an expedition to Newfoundland, which is interesting. He worked from 1937 to 1939 in, I'm not going to be able to pronounce the place, but in Tanzania, before enlisting in the Royal Air Force. Tanzania. Oh, you're right. Tanzania. Wow, I'm an idiot.
No, I mean, it's one of those things where you don't like think about it until you have to read it, you know?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually had to say Tanzania out loud or read it, actually. I think I've heard it. I don't think I've ever had to read it or speak it.
I used to have like a t-shirt that, okay, never mind. This is going to be too long of a story to get into. Just continue and I'll tell you later.
1703, Kendall's non-story.
I gave up really fast there.
You did.
Never mind.
Actually, I'm going to leave it and see if anyone else wants to know.
Oh, God.
So he enlisted in the Royal Air Force when World War II broke out and was a fighter pilot. So apparently that was true from his .com. But he was seriously injured in a crash landing in Libya. And then he served with his squadron in Greece and then in Syria, before doing a stint as an assistant air attaché in Washington, D.C., during which time he was also a spy for the British government. So
wait, spying on us?
That's what it feels like.
Okay, bitch ass. Never mind. I hate Roald Dahl now.
See, he's sketchy. Let's see. That's when the novelist C.S. Forester encouraged him to write about his most exciting Royal Air Force adventures, which were published by the Saturday Evening Post. So his first book was called The Gremlins, which was written for Walt Disney and published in 1943, but was not successful, which is kind of funny. I feel like I'm surprised that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is as successful as it was. Like, it's a cute children's book, but how is it what it is now? It's weird. Let's see. His first story collection was called Over to You, 10 Stories of Flyers and Flying, which was published in 1946, which was a series of military tales that were well liked but did not sell well. They were about his time serving in the Royal Air Force. Yeah. He only achieved bestseller status with his collection of macabre stories called Someone Like You, which were stories for adults, which was followed by Kiss Kiss in 1959.
Wait,
which was focused
I want to read that.
I like the name Kiss Kiss. Apparently it was about stormy romantic relationships.
Oh, yeah. I want to read the Someone Like You one.
Someone Like You one.
Yeah.
They're macabre stories. So I think that those are both collections of short stories, I want to say. So maybe he just does shorter form stuff, because after this is when he started primarily writing children's books, which are always a lot shorter. Like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is basically a novella. It's so short.
It's real short. Yeah,
exactly. So I wonder if that's why. I'm just going to quote Britannica again, because I can't say it better. Quote, unlike most other books aimed at a young audience, Dahl's works had a darkly comic nature, frequently including gruesome violence and death. End quote.
It's true. It's true.
It's true. This was largely considered the case because a lot of his villains were not just like they were genuinely evil adults or children who were just complete and total brats. James and the Giant Peach, which was published in 1961, made into a film in 1996, was written for children, was very popular. I hate that movie. I always have. It's so creepy.
That movie scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, and I never liked to watch it. Everybody was like, I love James and the Giant Peach. And I was like, do not come near me with James and the Giant Peach.
Same. 100%. Same. I hated it. I would like click through TV sometimes and it would be on like in October and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no. I'm not. Absolutely not.
I'm totally on the same page. Nope. I was not about it.
And then Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was published in 1964 and has since been made into the films Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory in 1971 and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in 2005 with Johnny Depp, which was way zanier than, I think, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was weirdly more accurate to the book, but I think
I think Charlie was more accurate.
I think Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, its vibes are definitely more accurate. Like I feel like Roald Dahl would have appreciated the weird zany darkness of it.
Well, I think that, that's really interesting you say that, because while I was reading it, I was literally, maybe this is because I have a better memory for quotes.
Probably, yeah.
No offense meant whatsoever.
I'm so not offended.
But like while I was reading the book again this time, I was like, wow, that's so funny. They literally lifted this exactly from the page for the 2005 movie.
Like, but here's the thing is about the whole Willy Wonka aspect was we don't get his backstory. Like the whole movie, Willy Wonka's childhood backstory is tied in. And that's not actually in the book. However, the darkly comic, whatever nature of it, I feel like completely fit Roald Dahl's.
Yeah, I totally see what you're saying. His vision. Yeah, they made some stuff up for the new one. Maybe the older Willy Wonka is more like Willy Wonka, but the newer movie has more of the same plot points besides the backstory stuff.
I think so. Yeah,
maybe that's what it is.
And I think the new one has more vibes that are like closer to identical to what Roald Dahl was aiming for.
Because it's Tim Burton, so it's gonna be kind of creepy anyway.
Is Tim Burton the new Roald Dahl? Did he? I feel like he did.
I feel like that is something he did, Nick.
Yeah, if not, he should have. While you look that up, I'm just gonna keep reading his other one. So another popular book for young readers. He did. Yeah. What a shock. I don't like him either. So I just sound like I'm no fun. This is something Javi that also probably would really disagree with me on. But Roald Dahl also wrote Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is published in 1970.
That's right. Okay, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, the film from 2009.
That movie. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it ever. Nope, I don't even know what it's about. Is it though?
No, it really is.
See, the fact that I know that Roald Dahl wrote the story means I'm not watching it. I will not be tricked into watching it now.
It's not like, it doesn't feel the same as a lot of his other stuff to me. But also the movie is so, I've only read the book like one time and I barely remember it, so I mostly like the movie. But the movie is so like Wes Anderson-y that it's kind of like different vibes anyway. So
yeah. So the rest of his books, I'm just going to read them all because they were basically all made into films, or we know of them. So there's Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, which was published in 1972, not made into a movie, but I think that's the sequel, right, to this book?
I think so, yeah.
And then The Enormous Crocodile, published in 1978, which obviously that one I don't believe was made into a movie. The BFG, published in 1982, made into films in 1989 and again in 2016. And I actually saw it because my mom took me to see it in 2016.
Yeah, I thought it was sweet. I remember reading that book when I was little and really liking it.
I didn't, but I did think it was more like a book that I would like. But the movie felt very different than any of his other stuff. There is The Witches, which was published in 1983. Oh. That film came out in 1990. Didn't we do a new one of The Witches with Anne Hathaway?
That's what I was just thinking.
Why isn't that one on here? I'm pretty sure it is, because I remember seeing like Roald Dahl stuff and I did not want to see it because it looked creepy as hell. Yeah. Well, so I bet it is. Also that one, which was just like a few years ago and creepy as hell. And then one of his last books for children was Matilda, published in 1988.
They're doing a new movie.
Are they?
Yeah, and because they did the Broadway show, and so the new movie is like based on the Broadway show, so it has all the songs in it.
Oh my God, I love it. Okay, so it was adapted into a film in 1996. Wonderful film. And as a stage musical in 2010. Wonderful musical. I'm so excited that we're getting that again. That's wonderful. He also wrote several scripts for movies, including You Only Live Twice, 1967, and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I did not know that he wrote that, but it does.
Sense.
And you know what? Again, with the creepy child catcher and the weirdo king. Yeah.
Oh my God. That feels like something the stars have just aligned for me. Like, of course he did that. Wow.
Of course he did. Bang Bang. You know, I did too, but you want to know my least favorite parts were the child catcher and the weird ass king. And those are the most Roald Dahl elements of it.
It's a very creepy movie. It's super
very
weird.
Creepy. And he also wrote his own autobiography called Boy Tales of Childhood, published in 1984.
Oh, fun fact about that. I read some of that in school. I don't remember what grade I was in, but there's like this one story where it's like him going to this candy shop, and like this lady who works at the candy shop is like creepy and mean and gross. And it always stuck with me. And then it wasn't until like later I was rewatching You've Got Mail, because I watch it like every single year, and I realized that the story she's reading from at like the when she does like the story lady thing where the kids and Tom Hanks meet her for the first time, she's reading that story from Roald Dahl's book. Anyway.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Fun fact.
That is a fun fact. I just lost. Hang on. Of course I lost it. Roald Dahl, Britannica. I was just checking how he died before I gave his death date, because I didn't know. Okay, so 2631. Let's see. So he passed away on November 23rd, 1990 from a type of cancer, which has a name I don't remember because it was confusing. But yeah, so that's Roald Dahl. And he sounds like he'd be really fun to know and be friends with, but I do not enjoy his work at all. Not a fan of his work. No. Nope. Yeah. It's a little too creepy for me. I mean, great storyteller. It's just what it is. It's not even that he's a bad writer. It's not a talent thing. It's just not my kind of story thing.
That's funny. I think maybe I like him. You know, I just thought of this just now, and I'm sorry I'm bringing it up again, but he and Dickens have a similar thing where they're like, yes, he and Dickens are similar in that they're like, I'm going to create the absolute meanest characters possible, and they're going to be caricatures of real people, and they're going to be so mean to these children.
That's true. The mean to children thing.
Both of them do it in every single thing they write, and it's so funny.
You know, that's the other thing too, is you find that really funny when there's like really mean adults who are just being really awful to these poor little kids for no reason, and you're always like, it's a little bit funny. And I'm like, it's horrifying.
It's a little funny. Because you're like, wow, that's terrible.
So you're like, wow, terrible. I'll laugh at it.
Yeah, I can't explain.
Well, clearly you're in good company, because many people like Roald Dahl everything and Charles Dickens. So I'm probably in the minority, especially for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But not that I didn't enjoy it. I just don't like Roald Dahl in general. I just want to make that clear. However, Matilda, iconic, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, a childhood obsession of mine. I still have every song memerized.
Aww,
and
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang,
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I enjoyed the movies. The book was fine too. It's a children's book, so you know.
It is kind of funny because like I feel like I definitely saw the 70s movie before I read the book. And then same. So I've always had that in my head, you know, before even reading it. So it's just like, it's so iconic, like for whatever reason, agree with it or not, like the book and the story is so iconic.
No, it is iconic. Yeah.
That it's like, you kind of don't even, it's like weird to read the book and be like, and like not even be, I couldn't stop thinking about, in the movie, it's like this, you know what I mean?
I know, I did too. Yeah. It's so like vivid and so like sensual. I'm like, I want not like sexual sensual, but like sensual, like so many senses. Like, I'm like, ooh, I want to eat grass now. No.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
The movie did it so well. The 70s movie did it so well. Okay. And the new one did too, but in the 70s was the first time I saw it. And that was the first time I was ever like, what if grass tasted like candy? What if?
What if? Ooh. Yeah. They're like, yeah. Man, and I always wanted to chew the gum. I really wanted to chew the
Oh
gum.
no, really? See, and I was always obsessed with gum because gum was my favorite candy forever. But
Yeah.
I was always like, I've learned my lesson from Violet Beauregard. Oh my God.
I guess we'll get into it, but I have a few qualms with Violet Beauregard as like this horrible child. Like they're all supposed to be horrible children. And I'm
She's
like,
probably the least bad.
She's definitely the least bad. Like
Yeah.
I wish they had talked more about what other qualities are so bad about her. Because they're just like, she chews gum. And I'm like, yeah.
You're like,
wow.
I would never chew gum. Wow, that's awful. What a gross kid.
Ew, disgusting. How dare she do that?
Oh, that's funny. Well, should we get into the summary for this book? It's a pretty short book,
yeah.
if you don't know. So
I don't think this will go very long. Also, everyone probably knows the story to some extent. So
yeah.
But we can, talk about stuff while we're
all the things that rub me the wrong way. I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bad, but Roald Dahl does rub me the wrong way. That's the best way to say it.
You guys don't vibe.
No
okay, so so we begin with Charlie Bucket. He is our main character. By the way, great name. I think that Roald is also really good at naming people. Like,
yes, okay,
really
his names were amazing.
Yeah. Willy Wonka, great name. Like, excellent name, instantly iconic. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Veruca Salt. Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
So anyway, Charlie Bucket is a little boy, and his family is extremely poor. Mm-hmm. And but he's a sweet child.
He's never done anything wrong.
Never done anything wrong in his life. Charlie Bucket is perfect. Yeah. So he he lives in the same town as this chocolate factory. Mm-hmm. And it's Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. So Willy Wonka is a candy maker. And the thing about the factory is that years ago, Willy Wonka like closed all the doors and sent all his workers away because people were stealing, like competitors were stealing all his good ideas. So nobody,
like Roald Dahl did when he spied on the US.
Oh my God. So yeah, what filthy spy.
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on, dude. That's another thing. Like, we're allies. I don't understand. So anyway, whatever. So nobody since then, nobody has been seen going in or out of the factory. And it's like a big secret, like mystery, really, because nobody knows what Willy Wonka's doing or what's going on. So Charlie lives at home with his mom and dad and his 4 grandparents who are bedridden and have been for 20 years. And they just lay in bed. Mm-hmm. And Grandpa Joe is like the most important grandparent. And Grandpa Joe tells Charlie all about the factory, and he's like clearly a big Willy Wonka like super fan.
Stan.
Yeah, he's totally stans him. You're so right.
Oh, yeah.
And so then as you know, after we get all the information about Willy Wonka, there is they announce that there will be a contest, and basically 5 golden tickets get put into different chocolate bars and sent anywhere in the world. And so anybody can buy a chocolate bar, and if there's a golden ticket inside, then that means that you've won. And if you win, then you get to go to Wonka's factory, and he's going to give you a tour of the factory and like give you a lifetime supply of candy and all this. So it's like a really fun, cool deal.
Yeah.
And do you remember, I feel like they did a golden ticket thing because there's like Wonka candy.
Yes.
They did it.
I remember something about that. Yeah.
I remember this, and maybe it was like sort of after the 2005 movie.
I think it was. Yeah.
It's like a marketing
Yes,
thing.
it was totally. Yeah, it was like a promo. Yeah.
I totally was like, it's gonna be me.
Same. It's the same energy I have sending a query letter. I'm like, they're gonna pick me. 2 rejections later.
It's so confident. Like,
I actually sent the query to someone who really liked this book last time before I edited it, and she was like really into it and like requested a follow. We emailed back and forth about it a little bit. I sent it to her again, like, a couple years later now, and I just got a form rejection from her. And I was like, okay.
What?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, that makes me mad.
her taste has probably changed. So
Oh
since
my
then.
God. You know
Mhm.
what? It's not for her. She doesn't
That's
get to
right. You know
have
what?
it.
She's not my audience.
She's not your audience.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so of course Charlie is very poor, and so he only gets one bar of chocolate a year for his
Mhm.
birthday. But his birthday is coming up
Yep.
conveniently. So his family's like, Charlie, they're super sweet. They're like, Charlie, you have a chance to, like, it's gonna be fine. Even if you don't win, you can
Mhm.
still have the chocolate and it's great. And he's
Yeah.
like, you're right, 'cause I'm the best boy in the world and I'm not gonna be upset.
100%. Yep.
So Charlie gets his birthday chocolate bar and there's no golden ticket inside. And he's like,
Mhm.
well, that's okay. And he
Every
tries to,
time I watch the movie, I'm like, what? What?
I know. Yeah, because you're like, okay, I know Charlie gets to go. Like, can we just speed it
Yeah,
up a bit?
exactly. I'm like, wow, just punch this poor little kid in the stomach again. Why don't you, universe? Like, how does he not
Right?
have the golden ticket?
Seriously. He should have gotten it immediately.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, okay, and I don't feel this way now, but like when I was a kid, I always felt like in the old movie, it took so long for him to get to the chocolate factory. I was
Yeah.
like, can we just get there already?
Now I kind of want to watch both of these
Me
again.
too. I really do. I really like things about both of them. Like,
I do too.
I'm glad we
Yeah,
have both because I think
I
that
agree.
both do
They're
different
very
things
different.
well. They
Yeah,
are, but like they're both of them get the book, I think, in different ways. So
I
anyway,
agree. Totally agree.
but one thing I love about the old one, songs. The songs are so good in the old
They
movie.
are.
Like,
They're so zany in the new one.
they are zany, but a lot
Yeah.
of them are taken directly from the book, which I
I
like didn't
noticed that.
realize.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty funny.
It
But
is
like,
funny.
I've got a golden ticket. Oh my God, what a
It's a
song. And
good
then
one.
Cheer Up
Yep.
Charlie. Oh, there's a bar in Austin called Cheer Up Charlie's. Anyway,
Oh, that's
yeah.
cute.
But anyway, so Charlie is like, whatever. And then people start getting golden tickets. So the first winner is Augustus Gloop. And he is
Who is
this,
exactly what his name sounds like.
yeah.
Yeah.
He is this child who is very greedy about food.
Mhm.
One thing I do have to say, this, I mean, this is just a little bit of a tangent.
Go for
And
it.
I'm not like, I don't know. Nobody come for me, but I really feel like I get annoyed how in a lot of things, and I feel like a lot of British things specifically, but a
Mhm.
lot of things, especially for kids, like fat people are portrayed as being like evil or mean. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like this happens a lot, and it
Yeah.
kind of bothers me because
It's
I'm like,
weird.
right? I don't know. It really
It's
bothers
weird.
me.
Well, it's almost like being fat is like a sin or being or like a sign of
Yeah.
being a bad person. And it's like, or it's a health condition. And also maybe the way that somebody looks has nothing to do with
Maybe it's
their
their
value as a human
body
being.
type. Yeah, like it's so
Yeah.
true. I agree with you
Yes.
completely. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's just a little aside. And
Yeah.
I've noticed that in a couple of things recently
Come
that I've
on,
read.
Brits do better.
I mean,
Any
we do
chance.
it too. I noticed
No,
it
Americans are perfect.
in
Americans do not base stereotypes on body image, Kendall.
Oh my God, Americans have never done that and never would. So
No. God.
anyway,
Oh,
but the point of Augustus is that while he is kind of a caricature, is that he's like greedy and stuff. So
I wonder if
anyway,
there's like a seven deadly sins comparison in this story. I feel like somebody could make that
probably.
their thesis.
I mean, Augustus would be gluttony. And
Yeah,
then
exactly. Because if you're going to do that, then I could be like, okay, I guess then it's kind of justified. Well, because he's overweight, not because of a health problem or a body type. It's because he just eats candy all day, every day. So,
yeah, like they definitely, I'm not saying that everybody who even would eat candy all day, every day is bad, but like
no,
Augustus is kind of greedy and that's his
he is
character
greedy.
trope. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's another aside. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. So
No, he
anyway,
could have been greedy without being fat also.
yeah, he could have.
He could have had great metabolism and just been like,
I guess Veruca is kind of greedy in a different way.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
anyway, Augustus, he's the first winner, and he's just kind of like, gluttonous. He's like, I doesn't he? It's very very stark contrast from Charlie, who has
Mhm.
nothing,
Yeah.
and Augustus, who clearly has money to spend on as many candy bars as he wants.
Yeah.
So it's kind
And
of
he's
this whole
pretty
thing.
spoiled. I mean, that's pretty much across the
He's
board. All the
spoiled.
kids are pretty spoiled in the sense that like some of them have more money, some of them have less, but their parents pretty much let them do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
It is very annoying. Like, I think
anyway,
that's Violet Beauregard's worst thing is I'm like, you're really mean to your mom.
So yeah, she's mean and annoying.
Yeah, the gum thing is weird, the fact that she keeps the same piece and
But
has
if
been
you
chewing
were-
it for 3 months. But like, it doesn't make her bad. It's that she's a brat to her parents.
Yeah, if she was a nice person and had the gum thing, I'd be like, okay, she's eccentric. You know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Or the same, I guess that goes with all of them.
Yeah.
But so anyway, then the second winner is Violet Beauregard. She is I think it's Violet, yeah.
Yeah.
She is the gum chewer, as we've mentioned.
Mhm.
And she just chews, she's like the world champion gum chewer. So she has this piece
What
of
a
gum
thing
that she
to be
like,
known for.
I know, she like puts it behind her ear whenever she like wants
Is
to eat
eating
or
or-
whatever.
Ugh.
Yeah. But otherwise she's constantly chewing it. It's kind of disgusting.
It is, yeah.
So
I could not
I
do it.
did think it was kind of funny, like I guess I kind of like the take that they did in the 2005 movie where her
Yes.
thing is that she's just extremely competitive and kind of like
Yes.
mean about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too.
I think that that's actually a good take.
I agree.
Gives
I
her
totally
like
agree.
something else to be instead of just being a gum chewer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Also, wasn't that she was famous? Was that Anna Sophia Robb? I think it was.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it was. She, fun fact, is the one who I wanted to cast in the first ever book that I wrote. I was like, she should be the main character. She's who
Oh
I
my
pictured her
God.
looking like.
I love that for you.
I know, it was so cute.
That kind of dates us, honestly.
Does it? Oh no.
No, I mean it's fine. I just think it's funny.
Yeah,
She
it
was
does.
everywhere for a while.
She
Her
was.
and Josh Hutcherson like ran
my
the world,
God.
honestly.
They really did.
Marisha Terabithia was like the thing.
Oh
like,
my God. And she was because of Winn-Dixie too, right?
yeah, she was, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah,
yeah.
wow, that was crazy.
Mhm.
Good for her. I wonder what
Yeah.
Anna's doing now.
I don't
But
know.
Anna Sophia, I don't know. So anyway, she so that's Violet Beauregard. And then blah blah blah. Charlie, I think this is when Grandpa Joe has a secret stash of money.
Yep.
And he's like, Charlie, how about you go buy us another candy bar and we'll have another crack at this golden ticket thing? And he's
Mhm.
like, okay. And so Charlie goes and buys another candy bar. There's nothing in it. And I thought it was so cute in the book because they don't really do it in the movie, but in the book, they both kind of open it. And instead of being really disappointed, they just like start laughing because they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah,
and they're just like
whatever.
happy to be together and eating
And to
chocolate.
eat chocolate. Yeah.
So cute. I was like,
It's
oh, that's
precious.
adorable.
It's so sweet.
They're clearly kindred spirits, you know?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Grandpa Joe's funny. And so then after this, the next winner is announced, Veruca Salt. She is a
The way
huge
she
brat.
wins is so garbage. The woman who opened the chocolate bar should have been the one who gets to go.
I know. Okay, yeah, so true. Like her dad they're clearly very rich. Her dad owns like a peanut company. And
Mhm.
so he just had Veruca gets everything she wants. And so she was like, I want a golden ticket. And so her dad was like, okay. So he just had all of his ladies who work at
factory
his
workers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had them all stop shelling peanuts and instead opening candy bars. And so of course she won because they probably opened like thousands on thousands.
Yeah.
So very unfair.
So stupid. So stupid.
I know, it makes me furious every time.
Yeah.
And so yeah, then the next winner is Mike TV.
Oh,
Mike,
God.
he might be the worst, honestly. Mike and
He's
Veruca, I
not
think,
good.
are like the two
On
worst.
par. Yeah.
I
think Mike TV would be Sloth. Maybe Veruca is there's an anger one, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Because she throws tantrums. It's not just that she's spoiled. She throws major tantrums to get what she wants. I don't know. I'm gonna go with my 7 deadly sins theory as far as I can.
Let's do it. Let's do it. It's like we're writing an analysis for school.
Yeah,
So anyway.
exactly. It's the English major in me. Sorry, everybody.
It really is.
We have to keep the book club a little pretentious.
Yeah, guys, come on. We can't just be nonsense all the time. So Mike TV is just this kid who watches TV all the time. And
kind of violent.
Yeah, violent. He loves watching like shoot 'em up kind of gangstery shows. And he's got like all he's got like all these like toy pistols.
Mhm.
And it's just like he just seems I want to keep an eye on him. That's like the vibe I get.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, let's I understand playing pretend or like getting wrapped up in a show, but like he's on another level.
He seems to have no regard for other people or humans at all. It's very alarming. And like they're trying to like interview him about getting the golden ticket, and he's just like, get out of my way, I'm trying to watch TV. And it's like, bro, do you not care? And he's like, no, I don't care, I just want to watch my show.
I know.
He's so rude and bratty. He's not good.
The part in the 2005 movie, the kid who ever played him in the 2005 movie was so good because I wanted to slap him.
That's how I picture him in the book.
Too. Me too. Yeah. But there's like one part in that movie where he's like, they're like interviewing him and he's like, yeah, in the end they only happened to open one chocolate bar or whatever, and they're like, how did it taste? And he goes, I don't know, I hate chocolate. And it drives me crazy. Like
the worst.
I'm gonna strangle him.
Slap him.
I don't know, I hate chocolate.
I hate brats.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh God.
And so then all of that, meanwhile, the Bucket family is growing poorer and poorer because
literally starving
because Mr. Bucket lost his job at the toothpaste factory. And so they're all starving to death. And they're like, this is fine. So poor little baby Charlie is walking, and poor Charlie has to walk by Willy Wonka's chocolate factory every day.
It's awful. This is like Roald Dahl was like, how can I be even crueler to this poor little boy? I know, which is why I don't like him. I'm like, Roald, you didn't have to do that. Like that was unnecessary.
It makes the payoff so much better,
I guess.
But so Charlie, in a stroke of luck, finds like a 50-pence piece or whatever on the side of the road. He's clearly in England.
Or like $1. So, isn't it $1? I thought it said $1 because I was like, where is this set?
Oh, really? Mine definitely said some kind of British money.
Oh,
but there might be different versions.
I wonder if they Americanized it.
They might
like Americans are too stupid to know what a pence is.
Possibly. When we read what's it called? The other one with the little British kid.
Harry Potter.
No, the other one. The other one. Not Great Expectations.
Not Great Expectations?
No. The one where Charlie Bone. Neither of us knew what it was. When we read Charlie Bone, it was so clearly British to me, but they Americanized a lot of it to be American. And so I was like, don't do that. Like, I understand. Like, I understand. You can just leave it British. So they might have done that for your copy.
I bet that's what it is. Because I was like, wait, I thought this was in England. Why'd they just say dollar? I'm so confused now. And I was like, this wouldn't have happened in America. I just can't picture it.
Is it set in America in the 70s one? I think it is. I think everybody has American accents. That's weird.
I think so. That is weird.
And then in the 2005 one, it's clearly Britain because Freddie Highmore is Charlie, but Johnny Depp has an American accent, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because his dad is clearly British. Okay, what's going on?
I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know. You know what? I don't like it. I'm disliking it more the more we dig into it.
I don't know. So anyway, Charlie finds the money. He finds the money, and then he's like, sweet Charlie is like, okay, I'm going to give most of this to my mom to buy food for us. However, I really want a chocolate bar, and he's like starving to death, so you can't fault him for this at all. And so he goes to like the little corner store and he buys what's it, like a fudge mallow delight?
Yeah,
God,
which sounds amazing.
I want to eat that so bad. Like,
and I'm obsessed with marshmallows. So I'm like, wait, fudge mallow? Does that mean like it's marshmallow? It's in some way, shape, or form, because that sounds amazing.
I know. I love marshmallows. I got
toasted marshmallow syrup that I've been putting in my tea and my coffee. I put some in my Earl Grey, and I was like, oh my goodness, toasted marshmallow Earl Grey. Like, it's weird but good.
That sounds so good. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So Charlie has his little chocolate bar, and then he's like, okay, I have enough change. I'll just get one more.
Yeah.
So he gets one more, and the this one has a golden ticket in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! So Charlie's
Woo!
like can't even believe it. People immediately start crowding him and they're like, I'll buy it from you. And the shopkeeper, who is actually fat and nice, so
Yes, you know
not to
what?
paint
That's
with a
true.
broad brush,
That's
but
true.
something I have noticed. But anyway, he is fat and nice. So
It's true. He is.
he is. So
He's got the
like
vibes of what's his name from Frozen? The guy who owns the sauna.
Oaken. Yeah.
Oaken, because he's like, I'm really nice, but also I could be scary. Because he's like, get away from the kid. Or I think in one of the movies he is. And I'm like, oh, he can be intimidating. I was like, am I attracted to this man? Just like Oaken. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh my God. Good. I'm so glad to hear this about you.
Don't tell me you've never been attracted to Oaken. I mean, what a great person. I'm not gonna lie, there was somebody I knew in college who reminded me a lot of him. And in retrospect, I'm like, you were the one person I should have dated in college.
This is so funny.
Those are the people who are worth it, you guys.
No, he is so sweet. You're right. Very, very kind and like kind of beefy,
Adorable. Just adorable.
No, I mean, listen, I was too busy. Listen, Kristoff is my number one Disney
I'm
crush.
a fan. I think he's kind of a butt.
He is so cute to me. Like, oh my God. Anyway,
Kristoff's a little butt.
And I'm like, sweetheart.
Whatever.
No, he's a sweetheart. So, I mean, he's just like a little weird. That's what I like him.
He is definitely a little bit weird. Okay, no, I do like him. Now I want to watch Frozen again.
Right. Okay, we'll definitely watch Frozen on.
I love that we live in a world where there's so many good movies,
Frozen and Tangled at our party. Absolutely.
Yes, because Flynn Rider also.
Flynn Rider. Rapunzel is my favorite Disney princess. I love her so much.
Cinderella is still my favorite, but probably not my favorite movie anymore.
I do like that movie a lot though, and I really like her. Yeah, she's great. Okay, anyway. Enough about princesses.
The shopkeeper is hot and moving on.
You know what? I am so willing to go on with this. Like, yeah, the shopkeeper is hot, and we're gonna say it.
Yeah. Little known fact, you guys.
Yeah. Did you guys know that the shopkeeper?
There's nothing hotter than standing up for a little kid. Okay, he did.
So true, and he was very sweet about it. He was like, "Hey, don't eat that too fast, or else you get sick."
Yeah,
but he was very willing to sell him another one. Super nice guy. Yeah.
Yes, very.
So, anyway, he's like, "You better run." He's like, "You run home and don't give it to anyone. You keep that." And Charlie's like, "Okay, I will." And so he goes home. I know. And he, has his golden ticket, and the whole Bucket family is like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." And then they're like, "Okay, well, and Grandpa Joe is so excited that after 20 years of being in bed, he jumps out and starts dancing around.
Oh my God. No muscle atrophy, nothing.
No, nothing.
Like, I got this.
Have you seen that SNL sketch? Kristen Stewart was the host, and she was like playing Charlie, and it was about like it was like that scene. But then when Grandpa Joe got out of bed, everyone was like, "Whoa, what the fuck, Grandpa Joe?" Like, oh my God, you've been able to walk this whole time? You could have gotten a job. We were starving to death.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
Really funny.
Now I need to look that up. That is really funny.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that while I was reading it.
There's I've been rewatching How I Met Your Mother again, because I always do that in the fall. That and then Gilmore Girls. So I'm approaching Gilmore Girls time again as well. But anyways, there's an episode where Marshall, basically they find out that Marshall wears this like man's like nightgown and to sleep every night. And I think he calls it like his nightshirt or something. It's obviously like a dress. And Barney is making fun of him. And so like he's like calling him like the little match girl. And he says, like Marshall says something and Barney says something like, "Oh, is that true? Old grandparents from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory."
It's really good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny. So so then they're like, "Okay, well, this is great. Who's gonna?" And they find out. Note on the golden ticket is like, "Be there at whatever date in February." Blah blah blah. And Charlie, the whole family is like, "Oh my God, that's literally tomorrow." So part of me is thinking like, what would have happened if nobody had found it like before that date? I guess there would have just been 4. Yeah. That's crazy. Imagine being the kid who found it the day after. That would
That
suck.
would suck so bad.
Anyway.
Oh God, that's when I would find it.
Damn it.
It's okay. I would go take comfort with the little shopkeeper man. We could eat some chocolate together. He'd be really nice to me, probably.
He would be so nice to you.
I bet he's a good snuggler. Like, I bet Oaken's a really good snuggler. What?
So funny to me. I love this for you, honestly. This is really giving like me vibes though, except for I'm not on the same page. Like I understand you, but like it's so funny to me. This is giving like blacksmith stability vibes, and yet you're the one who's saying it. You're like, I mean, imagine he'd be so good at snuggling.
It's more about like the emotional stability. These are like emotionally stable, emotionally comforting men. Yes. Like they don't have the best jobs in the world. Like the shopkeeper runs a little candy shop. Oaken runs a sauna in the middle of nowhere. Like that nobody comes. It's not about stability.
It's about being emotionally available.
They're just so, and they're like, you know, they're sweet, they're soft, but they're strong, you know, they're sweet, but they're really strong. Like they can be intimidating or like absolute teddy bears.
So true. Like I'm with you. I understand.
I just, nobody before they listen to this podcast realized that Oaken is the most crushable character in Frozen.
I never realized. And now I'm like, wow, what an idiot I've been.
Unfortunately, he's married, so, but you know.
Maybe the shopkeeper is single.
I was about to say, maybe the shopkeeper is single. I mean, I'm also married, but in another world, you know?
You're Charlie in the Chocolate Factory AU. You're OC.
God.
Oh my God. Shopkeeper / original character.
Oh my God, that's precious.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, anyway, calm down. So oh my God. Get it together, Kendall. Okay. Sorry, I'm drinking mimosa right now. And I'm like,
oh, I was hoping you were. I was wondering. You know what's so funny? When you drink out of a wine glass, it's always water. When you drink out of a mug, it's always alcohol.
You're right. Oh my God, you're so
Why do you
funny.
do that? Are you ashamed?
I don't know. I just think it's like this is bigger, and so I don't have to refill it as much.
See, I just know when I see you with a mug, I'm like, she's drinking. Cool.
Oh my God, you know.
I wanted to have a drink. I do. Because the second I saw you lift it to your lips, I was like, I wonder what she's drinking tonight. Because I was jealous because I was gonna, and then I got a headache. So instead, I'm drinking out of this massive thing of water.
I like that water bottle.
It's my mom's. Like I stole it.
Ooh, good. I love stealing.
It has like the times on it, so I know like to track.
Don't give up, Ash.
Yeah, I'm close. And I mean, I am behind, which is probably also why my headache was so bad. My head is feeling much better between the 2 Tylenol, the whole cup of coffee, and a bunch of water. So, ooh, so we're good. I'm doing great. Maybe I can have a drink after this. Is it good to drink with Tylenol? I don't know. I'm gonna do it anyways.
You can't stop her.
Absolutely not. Only Oaken could stop me.
Only Oaken. He'd be like, ooh, maybe rethink that. And you'd be like, oh, hell yeah, babe.
I'd be like, if you say so, Oaken.
So Charlie, they're like, who's going to go with Charlie to the factory? Mm-hmm. And Grandpa Joe's like, I want to go. I really want to go. And they're like, okay, you can go. So Grandpa Joe and Charlie show up the next day at the factory. The other kids are there. And here's something interesting that I forgot. The other kids both have both of their parents, but in both of the movies, they just have one. Yeah. Which I think is probably just because it's easier to keep track of one parent for a movie, you know?
100%. Yeah.
And I kind of think that that's better anyway. Like I kind of like
that'd be too many. Yeah, that'd be way too many.
So they're all there, and Willy Wonka comes out, and he's this weird little guy, and he's wearing purple and green, and he's got a little goatee, and he's kind of a weirdo, and he's like, welcome to my factory. And they're like, yes, okay,
neither movie representation looks like him, but I understand why.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I truly think that both introductions though in both movies are pretty good.
Like, they're good. And I think got the costume right in different ways both times as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with the fact that they didn't get a tiny man with a goatee.
Yeah,
Like it would have been
too.
the goatee would have alarmed me a little bit with all of the
Yeah,
children.
it feels a little too villainous. Like there's
Yeah.
and he is kind of villainous, but like I like the more
It's
ambiguity.
more like he's like apathetically amused by their suffering.
Yeah, like he's maybe a little bit of a sociopath.
Yeah, that's exactly it. A little bit of a sociopath. Yeah.
But like he can hang, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, is it true that like Gene Wilder, his like introduction, we know how he does that thing where he walks out all like on his little crutch and he seems or his cane and he seems kind of like feeble and you're like, oh, is he okay? And then he does that little somersault and he's like, hello. I heard that was improv, like that was just like something or maybe not improv, but like
his
he
idea.
had the idea for it. Yeah.
Interesting.
It was kind of like then you don't know what to expect from him ever. Which I kind of really love that.
I really love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you the whole vibe of like, that's what I like about Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka is that you are kind of like, are you a bad guy? Like you never really know what his vibe is.
It's true.
I really
you know
like
what?
that.
That's what I don't like, which is exactly why I like Oaken, the shopkeeper. I'm like, you know what? You always know what to expect from those men. It's why I like my husband. You know what? I always know what I can expect from him. There's no, wait, are you actually a villain? I'm like, yeah, obviously you're a villain, but I knew that going into
I'm not saying I want to date Willy Wonka, but character-wise,
I know. I'm just saying I don't trust Willy Wonka.
No,
ever.
me neither. Me neither.
No, he's not
definitely.
trustworthy. So I don't even, he's an interesting character, but not a likable character to me.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Because he's so like, because I can't trust him, that's why I like him. I'm like, ooh, like I appreciate him as a character, I guess is what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, and meanwhile, like the 2005 one, he's just like a really big weirdo. Honestly, a lot of that movie is pretty funny. Like there's a lot of really funny lines.
He's very strange. I also feel like the representation of Willy Wonka's personality was very different. It was also, it was still very weird, but I was like, this is definitely Johnny Depp's take.
Yes, it didn't really feel like the book. Well, a lot of the lines were the same, but like the vibes were different.
The delivery was different. Yeah, I was okay with it.
Yeah, it was entertaining, but you know.
Yeah, well, they had to do it different because they couldn't make it. I feel like Gene Wilder's personality was more what Willy Wonka in the book was.
Yes,
and so what they couldn't just recreate the same thing, or what's the point of having a whole new movie?
Yeah, so true. Really good point.
Yeah.
So everyone goes in and the first room that they go to is the chocolate room, and the chocolate room is the iconic room with the waterfall of chocolate and the river,
the edible grass. I just want to be a cow. I just want to graze on the edible grass.
And like the little buttercups you can eat, like you can eat everything in the room. And cool. Yeah, and so now that I like thinking about it though, after rereading it, I realized that my family quoted a lot of the 2005 movie and also by proxy the book a lot when I was a kid, because we used to say like, yeah, there's one part in the movie where he says something like, this is the best way to churn chocolate and you can take that to the bank or something. And the way he says that, we used to say it all the time. Or like he says something like, and that is called cannibalism, dear children, and it's frowned upon in most societies.
Yes, we quoted that constantly as kids. My brother particularly was a huge fan of that and would quote it probably daily for years.
It was so quotable.
Oh my God. Even
really
we are edible. But that is called cannibalism, my dear children. It is in fact frowned upon in most societies.
Yeah.
So weird.
Exactly. So yeah, everything in this room is edible. And yeah, eatable. And so they're kind of like, everyone takes their time eating stuff and having a fun time. But then Augustus Gloop. Oh, and we also meet the Oompa Loompas. The Oompa Loompas are the workers at the factory, and they are from Loompa Land, and they are these tiny little guys who Willy Wonka went to Loompa Land, which is apparently a place, although clearly it's not. And he went there and was like, hey, I know you guys are really big fans of the cacao bean. I have so many of them at my factory. do you guys want to come work for me? And I'll just give you as many as you want. And they were like, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
So now all the Oompa Loompas run the factory.
Yep.
And they love to sing, and they're always singing.
Yep.
And you know what? I think that it seems to me, although there are clearly some dangers in the line of work, they seem to be fairly cool with the arrangement. Like, it doesn't seem like Willy Wonka was like, you have to come work for me and it's gonna be
they're
bad.
pretty happy. Well, and also like he talks about like how miserable they were, like where they lived in Loompa Land. Like there were a bunch of predators, so they had to like live in the tops of the trees so they wouldn't get eaten. And one of the monsters could eat like 10 of them for breakfast and then come back for seconds. And the only food, that's like a quote from the book, and the only food they could eat was that like they would mash up green caterpillars and they were disgusting. And they would try and make them taste better with other disgusting ingredients. And so they were all pretty unhappy and starving to death. And so he was like, hey, you know, if you want to come work for me, I've got a ton of chocolate, which is, you know, their favorite thing, well, cacao beans. And he's like, it tastes even better with milk and sugar mixed in, aka chocolate. And they're like, please take us away from this awful place.
Yeah.
So when you know like the backstory, it's a lot less bad, because I heard people be like, wait, so he's saying like these are like tiny people slave workers? And I was like, I am also concerned about that. Reading the book, I'm like, oh, I'm not concerned.
Yeah, I'm not concerned. I think they're fine. It feels like Wonka would let them leave if they wanted to. But they don't
very
want
much
to.
so. He's definitely like, the Oompa Loompas are like his buds. So
oh yeah, it seems like they get along.
They're pretty chill, I think. Also, like they could definitely overpower him. So like I'm not
true.
about it. Yeah, I think they're there because they want to be there. So.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah.
So the Oompa Loompas are there, and of course, our boy, well, is he our boy? I don't know, but the random kid, Augustus Gloop. Yeah, I don't claim him.
We do not claim Augustus Gloop.
We claim Charlie, and that's it. Augustus is leaning out over the chocolate river.
And he's not like, listening to everybody being like, Augustus, get back here. This is why I'm like, this is why you're a brat. This is why I look at him and say, I think you're supposed to in some way represent gluttony, because he's not, he will not be stopped. He's going to get what he wants, and he has no self-control.
It's infuriating. All these kids have no respect. And so Augustus Gloop is just like lapping up all this chocolate, and Willy Wonka is like, don't do that, you're contaminating my chocolate supply.
Yeah.
His parents are like, Augustus, you're gonna fall in. And of course he falls in.
He does. So also, which is disgusting, his mom says something in the book like, you're gonna give that coal to everybody in the country or whatever, and I'm like, ew.
I know.
I'm never eating Wonka's chocolate again after reading this. Like,
disgusting.
Disgusting. It is, yeah.
Yeah, it made me so mad. I was like, are you kidding me? So he gets sucked up into these big tubes that take the chocolate everywhere in the factory. And so everyone's like, oh God. And his parents are like, ah. And then the Oompa Loompas sing a song about him getting sucked up. And Wonka is
they're really helpful.
Yeah, they're really helpful. Wonka is like, oh, it's fine. Here, this Oompa Loompa will take you to where
the fudge room.
Yeah, to the fudge room. And before he gets made into fudge, you can get him out or whatever,
back, I guess.
And so his parents leave, and so now we're down to 4 kids. And so then they get on this big
This is very Lord of the Flies.
One by one they all fall.
It's
so
true.
We get to this big pink sugar boat pulls up. And it's actually a boiled sweet, but I literally hate that term. Like, I'm sorry, British people, but that is disgusting sounding. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh, what is it? Apparently, so Catherine, our listener friend, she emailed me and she was telling me, because she went to England before. And so they call, I guess, candies, they call them sweets. And she was somewhere and she asked for the candies like off the wall or whatever, because she was just trying to buy some. But I guess that candy or candies is another word for like hookers over there. And so they were like, we call them sweets here. And the girl was like really rude to her about it. And Catherine's like, I'm like still traumatized to this day.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
And guys, we call them candy here. Everyone knows what we're talking. Candy could be the name of a hooker here.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. But candy is sweets. I think we all know that now. Listen, American television's everywhere. Don't act like you didn't know what she meant. I'm like mad at the girl on Catherine's behalf. I'm like, leave her alone.
Mad at the girl who is in her own country using her own
Yeah.
terminology. We're like,
Well,
how
she was
dare
so
you?
rude about it. I was like, you don't need to be rude. Like, you know what she meant. She
Yeah,
definitely didn't.
seriously.
She wasn't like, hey, can I have those hookers off the wall? Like, what? Anyways.
When I was in England, I asked this woman, and my in her defense, I did say, "Hey, do y'all have a bathroom here?" And she was like, she knew what I meant, but it took her a second. She was like, "Oh," she goes, "Oh, toilet's up the lift," or something like that. And I was like, oh, "Okay, sorry, the toilet."
The toilet. Oh my God, that's funny.
I was like, you do realize how that sounds grosser, right?
It does sound so much grosser.
I know.
Like boiled sweets.
Yeah, boiled sweet. Like that is not as good.
Mm-mm.
So they all get in the boat and they're going through this weird tunnel. And by the way, this is the scary this part in the
Oh my God. Yeah.
shit out of me.
It's terrifying.
The part where they chop that chicken's head off. Do you remember that? Oh my God.
Oh my God. I blocked that out. What are you
Sorry.
doing? Why are you?
Sorry.
I'm gonna have nightmares
It
from
stuck with
the old
me
Charlie Chocolate Factory movie.
time. And he's like, "There's no knowing where we're going," and everyone's like, screaming.
Yeah, I would be too.
It's so scary. So they're going down, and they pass by all these fun rooms, and Wonkus is like saying clever, weird things about all the rooms.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, they end up in the inventing room, I think is what it's called, and he's showing them around all of his new ideas, which include like a wallpaper you can lick that tastes like the fruit that's on the wallpaper.
A bunch of like pretty generally useless inventions. Toffee that makes your hair grow, but it just makes the poor Oompa Loompas who try it just like the hair won't stop growing. So that's rough. The everlasting gobstoppers.
Yes, iconic.
Yep.
I love a gobstopper. Yeah, and it's like never gets smaller ever.
Yeah.
And then finally, he shows them a machine that spits out this one tiny little piece of gum.
Yeah.
And nobody knows what it is at first, except for Violet Beauregard, who's like, "It's gum." And he's like, "Exactly right." And so she's like, "Oh, I'm going to have some of it because I know gum." And he's like, "Oh, I wouldn't do that. It's still in testing phase or whatever." And she's like, "I know, I can chew any gum." So she starts chewing this gum, and the gum is like a thing where it's supposed to fill you up and be like a substitute for like all of the
whole meal. Yeah. So it's like a 5-course meal. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this one is like, I don't remember what's all in it, but the ending,
like tomato soup, roast beef, baked potato, and blueberry pie.
Blueberry pie. Yes.
Yeah.
So good. So Violet is chewing, and the whole time Willy Wonka is like, "Spit it out, spit it out." And she's like, "No." And so she's chewing this gum, and she starts turning blue.
Yep.
Because of the blueberry pie. And he's like, "Yep, it always goes wrong in the blueberry pie." And she's like, and so then she like blows up like a blueberry, and she's all blue. Yeah. And they're like, "Oh my God." And so then he's like, "It's okay.
Just take her to the juicing room." Yeah. I hated that, by the way. I was like, ew. That's disgusting.
I know, ew, like what comes out? Like literally,
ew.
It's disgusting.
So gross.
So they roll her off to the juicing room. And her parents leave too. So now there's 3 kids. Veruca, Mike TV, and Charlie.
Yeah.
So then the next one to bite the dust is Veruca, and they're in the nut room, and all these little squirrels are shelling walnuts. Yeah. And they're like tapping them first to hear if they're good or bad, and then they shell them, and then they like throw the bad ones down the garbage chute. Yep. And
Veruca throws an almighty tantrum.
Yes. She's like, "I want a squirrel." And so
I want it, Daddy, and I want it now. That's what my family used to quote a lot. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because like the little girl had like brown curly hair and I also had brown curly hair, but my father used to think it was funny to call me Veruca Salt, and he would want me to say the line, "I want it, Daddy, and I want it now," which is funny because I was like, I don't think I was a spoiled child. Like, I
No,
really
you are
don't.
not. I don't like that.
But for some reason he thought it was very funny. Maybe because I looked like her a little bit. I don't know.
I mean, I guess you had curly hair. That's like about it, all I
I
can
was
think
like a
of.
similar color, I think, but like that was it.
Well,
Yeah, anyways, that was another
so
often quote in our house
I
for
want it,
some
Daddy, and I
reason.
want it now.
Now.
So Veruca is like, I want a squirrel. And so she goes out.
Squirrel. Why can't y'all say squirrel correctly?
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
It's a squirrel.
That
So
there's a squirrel.
that's squirrel. So Veruca Salt, she goes out onto the little squirrel floor, and the squirrels think that she's a nut. And
Yeah,
so
she is.
yeah, get how funny it is, readers.
So
They like see a little knock on her head, and they're like, oh, she's a bad nut.
throw it out in the garbage
They
chute.
throw it out in the garbage chute.
Which is very funny.
Yeah, it is funny. But then Willy Wonka's like, well, I mean, hopefully they didn't light the furnace today.
Hope the incinerator's not on.
Yeah. And they're like,
So
the
unconcerned.
incinerator. And he's like, yeah, sometimes they don't light it. It's every other day. And they're like, oh my God. So then her parents go out to go call down and see if she's there. And the squirrels push them down.
Because they're also bad nuts.
So
it's funny.
So then the Oompa Loompas sing another song. And then now it's just Mike TV and Charlie.
Yeah.
And so the whole party gets on the glass elevator. And Willy Wonka's like, okay, both of you can pick any room. And Mike TV is like, is there a TV room? And he's like, there sure is. And he's like, that's for me. And so he picks the TV room.
Yeah.
And they go to the TV room. And in the TV room, Willy Wonka explains that he has this idea that if TV can like shoot little bitty image particles all the way across the world or whatever, and then like have them show up on a TV, why can't he do the same with chocolate? So he invented this like TV chocolate thing where you have to start with a really, really big piece of chocolate because of course everything is smaller. Yeah, everything shrinks on TV. Yeah. So the big piece of chocolate gets like vaporized basically and then gets sent into the TV. Yeah. And so Mike TV, and he's like, but be careful because those like waves are very dangerous and you don't want to get caught up in them. And Mike TV is like, I love TV and not listening to people. So he runs out there and gets, of course, little vaporized into television waves, and he gets sent into TV, and then he's like tiny. Yeah. And so Willy Wonka's like, whoop, that's rough. I guess you're just going to have to stretch him out.
On the taffy pole, which is horrible, like medieval torture.
I know, it's so funny though. He's like, oh, your boys are extremely stretchy. It'll be fine.
Oh my God.
So Mike TV and his parents go so he can get stretched out on the taffy puller. And then lo and behold, there's only one winner left. Or one person left, and it's Charlie. And so Charlie and Grandpa Joe, Willy Wonka, are on the gray glass elevator again. And Willy Wonka is like, Charlie, this is the best news ever. I'm so excited. And he explains, you won the contest. This means that I'm going to give my factory to you. And I'm going to like, you can stay here and live in the factory until you're ready to run it and all that. And you'll be my successor, which is like, wow, that's pretty great.
That is pretty great.
They hit the
He was really gambling with just 5 tickets.
He was like, what if all of them had been bad?
Yeah.
So, he hits the up and away or up and out button.
I think up and out.
And the up and out button means that the elevator that is made of glass is going to shoot up through the ceiling and go out. Yeah. And so Grandpa Joe was like, oh my God, we're gonna die. And Willy Wonka's like, maybe. Yeah. So they shoot out and they go to the Bucket's house and
crash through the ceiling.
Crash through the ceiling.
I'm like, how did nobody die? They were even like, yeah, bricks were falling. And I'm like, there is a bed full of elderly people who cannot move
in this tiny house. Yeah.
How?
So they all get. So then everybody gets pushed into the elevator and they go back to the factory. And somebody says something like, is there anything to eat there? And Charlie's like, oh boy, is there? And then that's the end of the book.
That's the end of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which probably took us about as long to talk about as it takes to actually read the book.
To read it, yeah.
It's very short. Well, what was your favorite and least favorite part of this book?
Oh, I'm so glad I remembered. Before we even started today, I was thinking, I was like, we should do that thing like on Dora. Whenever, did you ever watch Dora when you were a kid?
Uh-huh.
When she goes like,
Yes.
what was your favorite part? And then you would say your favorite part, and she would wait, and then
Oh,
she'd
that's
go,
really good.
I like that too.
I like that
We
too.
should say, I like that too every time you say
Oh, we forgot to do first impressions too. We'll have to do that
Oh, I
afterwards.
forgot. I mean,
That's
that's
okay.
hard because we kind of, yeah.
Yeah, we already
But
knew. We could just skip
yes,
it this episode.
I guess we I don't even
Yeah.
remember, honestly.
I know, me either.
But yeah, so my favorite part, I think I don't even know. It's all pretty fun. I like the part, I like kind of middle, like inventing room era of the
Mhm.
book, whenever you're just hearing about all the fun stuff that's in the factory. I'm like, oh man, I want to go here so bad.
I
It's
know.
like all the fun stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
The whimsy of it.
I mean, I largely because of the movie, I'm like the whole edible grass thing really gets me. But I
Mhm.
also really like at the end when it's like, oh my gosh, this family's not going to starve to death. Hooray! They get to go live in the candy factory. This is so best case scenario.
That
So
is
that's
good.
probably my favorite. It's just such a satisfying and unexpected ending.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah.
Least
What about yeah,
favorite?
least favorite?
Um, I don't know. Part of me, okay, this you're gonna really roast me for this. This isn't necessary. I don't really have a least favorite because I feel like all of it is fun and good.
Mhm.
And like none of it is too emotionally terrible where I'm like, oh, that part stressed me out or anything. It's like a kid's book.
Uh-huh.
But I will say I kind of wish that it had been left ambiguous whether all the kids died or not.
Oh
Like,
God.
the part at the end, whenever they're like all the kids, you can see them like leaving the factory and they're like all messed up or whatever. What
Uh-huh.
if we didn't have that and it was just like, well, they could be dead?
I feel like that would be still I feel like Roald Dahl would still do that.
Yeah, I'm
That
like, why
feels
didn't he just do it?
I don't
Should
know,
have done.
man. My least favorite part is probably uh God, I don't know. All of the other kids were just so awful. Mike TV really bothers me. Maybe Mike
He's
TV.
the worst.
He really is the worst.
I truly think he and Veruca are the worst. Like Augustus and Violet, you could like be like, okay, with some, I don't know. You guys just
Yeah.
need to stop being so annoying.
Yeah,
The other
it's
two, I'm
true.
like, there's maybe something wrong with you. Like, you know?
Like you're gonna grow up to be also a villain, like an actual
Yeah.
villain.
I
Yeah.
am like literally worried about them.
I am also concerned as well. What about favorite quotes?
Okay. This one, my favorite quote. I honestly think it's so funny. And it's funny in the movie too. In the 2005 movie, they do it a lot. Um, but the running gag of Mike TV saying something and Willy Wonka being like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you is so funny to me. So I just picked one that's like
Uh-huh.
like a example of it.
Hmm.
um this is after Violet gets like turned into a blueberry. And but will she still be blue all over? Asked Charlie. She'll be purple, cried Mr. Wonka. A fine, rich purple from head to toe. But there you are. That's what comes from chewing disgusting gum all day long. If you think gum is so disgusting, said Mike TV, then why do you make it in your factory? I do wish you wouldn't mumble, said Mr. Wonka. I can't hear a word you're saying. It's so funny. And he does it the whole time. He'll be
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, I'm a little deaf in this year. You're going to have to speak up. And then he's like,
Yeah.
nope, I can't hear you.
It's so good. I forgot. I was looking for a quote last minute, like I always do, but I forgot I actually did take a picture of my book. So not a screenshot, like an actual picture of the book when I was reading, because I was like, this made me laugh out loud. So this is when it's not, I don't think in either movie, but there's these square candies that look round,
Mm.
which is candies, which is very creepy actually. So they're square candies. They're candies in the shape of squares, but they turn and look at you. So they look round. They look like around. And basically they're like, they look round. They're definitely don't look round. And they're like, and basically the Salt parents, so Veruca's parents, are like, don't listen, he's lying to you. So this is my favorite quote. It's like a whole little piece of it. My dear old fish, said Mr. Wonka, go and boil your head. So good. He says, how dare you speak to me like that, shouted Mrs. Salt. Oh, do shut up, said Mr. Wonka. Now watch this. I'm like, just I thought it was so good. My dear old fish, go and boil your head.
I literally almost picked that one because it was so funny to me. I cracked up when I was.
It's so funny. It was pretty early in the book too. I was like, oh, page 114. I was like, wow, okay. No, so not early in the book, later in the book, but oh my goodness. I'm gonna start saying it. I was like, I gotta start calling people my dear old fish and tell them to boil their heads.
My dear old fish, go and boil your
head. Like, was this a real saying or is this just some nonsense, Roald Dahl? Like, I need to know. Is this like a British saying thing?
Yeah, like has anyone ever said that before ever?
It felt like words that have never been spoken. That's
really did.
Oh God. Let's see. What about what did we learn from this book?
Oh, I mean, I feel like it was kind of a bit of they shoved some of the lessons down your throat a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, like we learned everything that Oompa Loompas sang about.
Yes.
For sure. Like you didn't have to guess what the lesson was. The Oompa Loompas told you in song.
They literally were like, yeah, we're going to, it felt like they were Greek, like chorus or something. They were like
oh my God, they absolutely, you know what? And so that leads into my next one, which is that we learned this book is actually very rich with possible topics for your thesis. If you're a lit major, you could be like you could take the Greek chorus angle. You could compare and contrast, or you could do compare and contrast to the 7 deadly sins, because you could do all the kids and Willy Wonka and Grandpa Joe, there's your 7. So, I mean, it's just rife with literary possibilities. We learned that the large shopkeeper, that's the man of your dreams right there. Don't you overlook that shopkeeper.
Do not overlook him. He is right there. He is
right there in front of you. Just open your eyes. Yeah. He's probably really good at snugs.
Oh my God. He is. He's got steady employment. He's kind to children.
He's kind to children, you guys. Come on. That's so nice. You know what, my husband, we went to our niece's birthday and Javi's just a giant child. And so they got all really excited, including my husband, because they bought a bunch of silly string. And so all the kids were having a silly string war and they were all trying to get Javi. And Javi collected a bunch of the like Nerf balls they'd been playing with and he chucked it at the kids. Like he was in real battle. And the kids had a great time, but I was like, oh my God, this is like a little bit too mean. But I mean, Javi was just having so much fun with them. It was adorable.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah.
Listen, kids like it when you can hang, they don't want to be coddled.
That's like, exactly. Yeah, and they're all old enough now that they really liked that. But I do remember when our niece was like, she had just turned 2 and we were sitting on our friend's couch and she walked up and she handed him like this like little block toy and he took it from her and he literally went in this voice, what do I do with this?
Oh no. What do I do with this?
I was like, she wants you to hand it back to her now. She's 2. That's the whole game. And he was like, okay. And so he like hesitantly handed it back to her and she just took it and walked away. And he's like, what now? And I was like, that was it. That's the whole game. That's all she wanted. Like, okay. And he loves her. She's one of like a few kids that he likes. So that's what the kid that he likes.
He's like, I don't get it.
He does way better when they can run around and say things. Because he would also, then when she started to talk, he's like, I don't know what you're saying. She doesn't know what she's saying.
She's 2. She really understands language.
I don't know what you're saying. It's just so funny. Anyways, yeah, but that was not a lesson learned from this book. It just amuses me. Oh God.
I mean, yeah, I feel like the main lessons are, be like Charlie. respect your elders. I don't know.
Respect your elders. Listen to people. If there's like a
listen.
weird like candy maker guy and he warns you not to eat certain candies that he's made, like maybe don't.
Maybe don't do that. Like, that's another thing. Maybe just use common sense. I
Mhm.
mean, we went into this being like, I don't trust Willy Wonka. And I feel like the kids should have been on the same level, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Don't trust Willy Wonka. Don't trust people who make candy. Okay, you don't know what's in the candy.
You do. Have you been seeing that meme going around? That's
No.
like, you know how people are always like, watch out for drugs and Halloween
and the candy. I know.
which is like so ridiculous because like who is giving
This-
away free drugs and
Drugs,
Halloween
yes.
candy? But anyway, people are like making memes about like, guys, be careful. I found this in my child's Halloween candy, and it's like it's the one ring to rule them all, and like that kind of thing, like or whatever.
I love those jokes this time
It's
of
really
year.
funny.
One of the libertarian podcasts, one of the ones I listened to called Based Politics. So they were talking about that in the episode I was listening to today. She was like, what's the stupidest thing ever? When people say that they've like methamphetamines in your kids' Halloween candy. She's like, no one's giving away free meth, okay?
Literally no one. Like, oh, I'm sorry, this does not happen.
That's not happening. Oh man, that's funny. But still don't take candy from strangers on Halloween, even if you're drunk and it's a good pun because they're sugar babies and a guy is dressed like a sugar.
Listen. When will I ever live this down? Literally
Never.
when?
It was because it wasn't the fact that you drunkenly accepted candy from a stranger on Halloween. That makes total sense. The fact that you cried when I took it away. So
I was so mad at you. I was literally furious.
I know. You were so upset. You were like, Ash. And I was like, what? Like, we're not eating this.
I was like wrestling you at that bar on 6th Street. Like,
I know.
And people were like watching for sure.
I know. And I was like, I know, it's going to be fine. We're just not going to eat this candy. I'll get you other candy.
I was like, you sick son of a bitch.
It was like I had betrayed you. It was like I had never done something to hurt you so badly. It was super funny.
My God.
It was very funny. But yeah, don't accept candy from strangers. Definitely not from like a stranger wearing like a purple velvet overcoat and green pants. Like, I don't trust his homemade candy.
And that goatee, are you kidding me? There's something about him.
There's something weird in his candy. Do not accept his candy. I
Okay,
made it myself.
Like, oh, okay, thanks. That said, I would F up a chocolate fudge mellow delight. I would eat that.
Well, okay, I would too. Well, 100%. I'm just saying, if a guy dressed like that comes up to you on the street and is like, want some candy I made in my kitchen, you say, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah. See, I think those are all some pretty good lessons learned. How many pinkies do we want to give this book?
I'm going to give it 4 pinkies up because I really enjoy it and it's short and sweet. It's iconic. I kind of enjoy the Roald Dahl like weirdness, I guess.
Ugh.
But it's not my favorite, so 4 for me.
I think I'm going to give it 3, and that's because I instinctually wanted to give it like 2.5 because of my lack of enjoyment of Roald Dahl's energy. But I do like the story, and it's really well written for a children's book. So like, I really don't have any reason other than like personal taste to not give it 3 pinkies up. So I'm giving it an official 3 pinkies up. I probably won't read it again. Roald Dahl is I just don't like his vibes. But then again, I love Matilda, Chitty Chitty Bang Man, and I love the movies. So I probably just won't read the book again. I hate the illustrations. Stop shoving those illustrations in my face. I tried so hard to find a copy of the book on Thrift Books that did not have the stupid, gross Roald Dahl style illustrations. I hate them. So actually, I mean, that's probably what like the 2 pinkies up were mostly knocked off for was the gross illustration.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't super love them either.
No, it's grimy and yucky. I don't like it. We could have had cute illustrations and I would have felt like 50% better about it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Let's see what we're doing next week. So next week we're doing another book rec. This is from our friend Jeff. From Oh my God. I'm going to have to redo this because he's
Into
going to
the
get so
fold.
mad. He's going to get so mad. I forgot we have to do it again.
Okay. Cut this.
Cut. Okay. So, podcast friend Into the Fold, Jeff. You guys should go check out that podcast if you enjoyed the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Or Six of Crows. Actually, I'm sure they talk about that as well. But anyway, so he gave us a book rec for Caraval, which I've read before and is wonderful. Have you read Caraval?
Are we really reading this next?
We are reading Caraval.
That is so funny because I literally was thinking like a couple of days ago, everyone's always telling me to read Caraval. I guess I'll have to read it at some point. Literally completely forgetting that it was on our list.
It's on our list. Thanks to Jeff.
Sabrina's gonna freak out.
So we're going to read Caraval. It's good. Fun fact, I used to, the last round when I was submitting this book that I just finished before I completely rewrote it, and you have to, in some of the query forms, you have to say like, this book is similar to XYZ. And I used to say similar to Caraval in setting. But I don't even remember if that's true. Like I don't remember Caraval at all anymore. I know that I really liked it. I know it's another YA fantasy. I have no idea if it's in any way similar to the book now that it's been rewritten, but apparently at one point I thought it was somewhat similar. But it's also the worst question that they ask you.
Oh, it's the worst. Like, stop making me
I don't
answer
know.
that.
Or they're like, what are similar books and how is yours different? And I'm like, it's different in every way. I wouldn't write a book that's specifically like another book. Like, what do you want from me?
Okay, seriously, it bothers me so much. I'm already dreading that question on the thing I'm writing. I'm like, oh my God, I do not know what I'm gonna say.
Oh my God, on your Midsummer Night's Dream retelling. It's like Midsummer Night's Dream.
Literally, I'm like, that's one, I guess. I have one.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the unpublished retelling of Lord of the Flies by Carissa Harlow. I don't know.
Yeah, ever heard of it?
Let's just start referring to each other's books, and that way we will gain more visibility.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh God. So anyway, so next week is Caraval. You guys can join us for that. And if you guys want to keep up with us during the week, you can do that. We are on social media. We are That Pretentious Book Club on Instagram and TikTok. If you guys want to follow my personal TikTok, I don't usually say it because it's weird, but it's at Ash O'Rourke Books. And I only say it because I forgot to tell you guys. I told the Scripturient Society listeners, and I forgot to tell you, Spoons, but you remember, I think I bitched to you about that Upwork job that was asking for like an insane amount of editing work in 6 to 7 days for like, anyways, it's like a minimum $6,000 job and they offer 200 max. And so I made like this like video, which, because I was just in so much shock. I just wanted to tell someone about it. It was so hysterical. And so I made this video talking about it and I posted it on my personal TikTok and like, there's like 1,300 likes on it. And I like, don't understand.
Right.
It's because the freelancers, we all want to bitch together because freelancing is really shitty. It's really, and Upwork is so hit or miss. So anyways, if you guys want to see that, apparently a lot of people are really liking it. And or I had somebody ask like for a breakdown of like actual editing prices so they would know what to expect if they wanted someone to edit their novel. So I don't know if that's something you guys want to know, but that is also on my personal TikTok. And I only say it because I've actually had a lot of people message me and ask about editing rates. So that's probably like your best 3-minute comprehensive breakdown of all of that. So if you guys want to go check that out, go for it. I don't care if you follow or not. It's there if you guys want to see it.
Yeah, go follow, go look at that.
And I made a funny one and there's like 14 likes. So, you know. People like it when I bitch. They don't like it when I'm funny. I don't know why.
I like it when you're funny.
Thanks. I appreciate that. So if you guys want to support the pod, you guys can do that. We are also on Patreon. And on Patreon is where you can see our video episodes. So if you want to, you know, see me going blind in the first half of this episode, or last episode, you want to see my cat-shaped soap dispenser and all of the other visual nonsense we have going on with actual live cats too.
Yep. There's been cats in the background of this the whole time. So
and
that's
last
the kind
episode.
of stuff.
Yep. That you have to expect, and bonus episodes. So there's also bonus episodes on there, and there's like exclusive merch that only Patreon people can get, and there's multiple tiers, so you guys can commit as much or as little as you want to. Go check it out if you're interested. Otherwise, a good way to support us and also to get really cool bookish merch is to go to StorySirenStudio.com. That's our production company. You can also go to ThatPretentiousBookClub.com. It'll take you to the same place, and we have new merch out. We also have our limited edition fall merch available again. It was available for a couple months last year. It's going to be available again for a couple months this year, and I moved the logo per Spoons' request because I had put the logo too far down on the shirt to be flattering to a woman's boobs. So I moved it up farther. So y'all, your boobs will look great in this. All of
Your
you,
boobs-
men, women, everyone's gonna look good in these shirts.
Everyone, you're gonna look amazing. Let's
Yeah.
go, guys.
We also
Walk
have
in.
our Greg High Lord of the Night Court shirt out, which is a compliment to our Court
I
of
am
Thorns
like-
and Roses.
I love that one.
It's really good.
Wow.
It's
She
really,
did a great
really,
job
really
on
good.
it.
Yeah. So thanks to Madison, our designer, my sister. And if you guys have any designing needs, let me know and I will send you her way because she's so good and she was so fast. But anyway, so you guys can go check out that merch. Plus there's other Story Siren Studio and TPBC merch up there. So go check it out. If you guys have an idea for merch and or you have a book rec that you want us to look into for doing next season, you guys can DM us or email us at contact@storysirenstudio.com. I mean, the rest of this season is just basically book recs. So we love y'all's recs.
We really do your book recs. Like,
we really do.
Like,
It's a lot of work
seriously,
for us to
guys.
pick out what you guys want to hear. Rather you guys
Yeah,
just tell us
like-
what you want to hear.
Seriously, honestly, some of the book recs, I'm like, wow, this is my new favorite book. Like,
I
you
know,
guys are really
exactly.
good taste. So,
yeah, you really do. So please send them our way. We want to hear them. I think that's everything we've got for you guys. So until next week, keep your teacups full.
Your pinkies high.
And your book club
Pretentious.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.